Well, we had our first blockbuster of the 2026 NBA trade deadline, and it involves the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies sending Jaren Jackson Jr. to Utah in exchange for 3 first-round picks. Now, there were some other pieces to this. I'll read them off. Memphis gives up Jackson, John Conchar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams Jr. Utah sends out Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, and those 3 first-round picks. For the purposes of this discussion, it really is Jaren Jackson Jr. and the 3 first-round picks. Those are the principal assets that were involved in this deal. So let's unpack what this means for both these teams. For Utah, absolutely love it. Jaren Jackson Jr. is legit. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a former All-Star. He is the former Defensive Player of the Year. He is in his prime. He is a high-level shot blocker. He can defend multiple positions. He's primarily a power forward at this point, but against the right opponent, he can play a little bit of 5. Now you have a star power forward, star big man that is under a long-term contract. Jaren Jackson just signed a long-term deal with the Grizzlies. He's under contract for the long term. You can pair him with Lauri Markkanen, who is also under contract for the long term. The Jazz finally, after being one of the worst teams in the NBA for the last few seasons, finally look like they're moving in a direction of winning. There are some questions here. For starters, this is not the year the Jazz want to be any good. The Jazz first-round draft pick is top 8 protected. If it finishes or it lands outside the top 8, the Jazz lose it to Oklahoma City. They don't want to lose this pick. They've got some good pieces here. You've got Jackson now, Markkanen. Keontae George has had a borderline all-star season. He looks like their point guard of the future. But you still need that star wing. Ace Bailey, maybe he's that guy, but he hasn't shown that he can be that guy quite yet. This draft has a whole bunch of guys that could be stars, superstars. Guys like Darren Peterson, guys like Cam Boozer, guys like AJ DeBanza. Like, there's a whole bunch of top-level guys that could be available in this draft, and the Jazz need to make sure that they're in it. How that's going to work with Jackson, with the team, like, Jackson is going to immediately upgrade a defense that has been atrocious. One of the worst defenses in the NBA, one of the worst defenses when it comes to defending at the rim. Jackson fixes, or should fix, a lot of those problems. How much playing time does he get in Utah? How will Utah treat the second half of the season when they know they've got to finish inside that top 8? Right now, they have the 6th worst record in the NBA. They've got to maintain that spot or sink even further to prevent, them getting leapfrogged by somebody on lottery day. So that's something to watch when it comes to the Jazz. Long term, I'm curious to see how it works with Walker Kessler now. Walker Kessler's been out for all but 5 games this season with a labrum injury. Last season, he was really good. He was a double-double machine, finished number 1 in the NBA when it came to offensive rebounding. The Jazz had really high hopes that he'd be able to play a full season this year, play with Markkanen. He went out pretty early, but he'll be back. He'll be back next season. How does that work with Jackson? I've seen some reporting that the Jazz are looking at a Kessler, Markkanen, Jackson front court. I don't know how that works. Like, Lauri Markkanen has played small forward before. He did it in Cleveland, but he has turned into a star playing one of the bigger front court positions in Utah. He's a 7-footer who plays offensively like a small forward, but defensively, that's asking a lot for him to play that position for extended periods anymore. I'm curious to see how it works. What does that mean with Kessler? Can they afford to pay Kessler? Kessler is a restricted free agent this summer. I think there could be a team out there that makes Walker Kessler a decent offer that the Jazz will have to think long and hard about whether or not they want to match. So I think that's going to be a question the Jazz have to figure out this offseason when it comes to how they're projecting their front court to look in 2026. For the Grizzlies, look, it's over. Like, what Memphis had hoped to be with Ja Morant, with Jaren Jackson, with Desmond Bane, that's gone. Bane's gone, Jackson now gone, and it might not be too long before Ja Morant is gone as well. This team is about to enter into a long rebuild, one that could take them several years. They're off to the right start here. They've got a whole bunch of draft picks now. These Utah picks that they got could be pretty good. 2 of them are set to be in the 2027 draft. Now, from what draft people say, the 2027 draft is not looking to be as strong as the 2026 one is, but maybe they can find a guy or two in that draft. The Grizzlies have done pretty well when it comes to drafting. You look at their roster, a lot of that homegrown talent there, they've drafted pretty well in Memphis. But this is an acknowledgement officially that their efforts to win with Morant, with Jackson, it's over. They're going in a rebuilding direction. Jaren Jackson Jr. was their best asset. He was the most sought-after guy on their roster. Now they'll look to deal Ja Morant, see what they can get for him, and officially start what is probably going to be a very long rebuild in Memphis.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.